Okay, so we're live recording. Welcome, Kim. Nice to have you here. Been a while.
Hello.
Welcome back to the
Thank you.
AOLG room. Yeah, I think maybe let's just have a little look at today's lesson. How much time do you have? About an hour? Does that sound reasonable? Okay, I'm not hearing you, Kim. I don't know if you've disappeared again. Can you hear me okay? All right, so I'm not hearing you, Kim.
I seem to have got disconnected and reconnected again.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
I can, yeah. It's a bit muffled, but okay, I can hear you. Yeah, so let me share my screen. Let's just have a look at the quote today, and then we'll have a look at the lesson, and we'll do a meditation. And we'll keep it pretty short tonight. So today's is the first of a review lesson. So we're reviewing previous 20 lessons, and it's about miracles. So that's the nature of the quote, which is from the singer John Bon Jovi. Interesting, very interesting. Which could have been a quote from A Course in Miracles. Shows you that truth is universal. So do you want to read that quote? And can you see that? Miracles happen every day.
Read it.
Yeah.
Miracles happen every day. Change your perception of what a miracle is, and you'll see them all around you.
Which is actually a pretty profound thing to say. And he's a rock singer, so shows you spiritual truth is everywhere. Just change your perception of what a miracle is. So I think too many people think a miracle is some kind of act of phenomenal manifestation. It's when something external happens. I had a kind of conception of a miracle was, what Jesus did, these kinds of healing lepers and raising the dead and walking on water and turning water into wine and all those miracles that you learn about at school when you do Bible studies or religious instruction, as it's called. But actually, it's not really about that at all. It's more about an internal shift of perception to change our minds about a situation, about the way we see things. And when we do that, that's really what the Course is talking about when it says this is a miracle. It's a correction. So the translation we use for miracle is correction. So correction in your perception. So that's kind of what John Bon Jovi is alluding to. Change your perception of what a miracle is, and you'll see them all around you. A miracle happens whenever you shift your perception. Then you see a miracle, because what you see around you is dependent on your internal state of mind. So perception creates the seeming reality that you're in, and then you will see them all around you because your mind has changed. So you change your mind, change your world instantly because you change your perception of it. So you don't actually need anything to change externally; you just see it differently. That's really what the quote's saying. Maybe you want to just read.
That's the whole. It's the art of practice is changing the mind.
Yeah.
And I guess people have different, I mean, besides the course, maybe there's different views on what or how to do it.
Yeah, any spiritual path or practice is really about some kind of change in mind. That's why you do it. So there are different approaches, but all the sort of authentic spiritual practices seem to lead into this idea that you're going to let go. You're going to let go of your existing beliefs, your existing thoughts, emotions, and you kind of let that go, and you empty your mind, and you go into spacious awareness. And in that, when you're in that spacious awareness, there's a different attitude, mindset, and perceiving from that state of mind, you perceive everything differently. So that's really what we're talking about with the miracle. You let go of your current perception of things, which involves a whole set of beliefs, because perception is based on belief. So you've got to let go of the beliefs to change your perception. And so we're talking about fundamental change of belief. And that's really the miracle. When you do that, you change your belief, then things change. I'm going to show you this actually. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but it's very pertinent, I think, to this conversation. So I'm going to bring it up. Where are we? Called The Instrument for Peace. It was put out by Living Miracles, of Masters organization. So there you can see the levels of mind diagram. This was apparently given to David by Jesus or Yeshua himself, and said, this is how it works. So you've got perception at the top level there, and underlying that is emotion, and underlying that is thought, underlying that is belief, and underlying that is the desire or prayer of the heart. So what do you really want? What's your true intention? We call it intention. And so to change it, we need to really go to the level of desire. What's your desire? And in the end, if you do this exercise, you see that ultimately it's the fundamental desire. Do you want separation, or do you want oneness? That's the desire or prayer of the heart. And so the miracle is when you change your desire or prayer of the heart to say, no, I want something else. And then that ripples through into belief, thought, emotion, and perception. So the whole process of the miracle is to go down, so go beyond, okay, I have a faulty perception. Well, first step in that is seeing it, saying, okay, well, my perception is incorrect. I'm willing to acknowledge that. I have a perceptual problem. I have emotions that are not happy, that underlie this. So I might be feeling angry or upset. Then I go to thought. So, well, I have a thought that someone has treated me unfairly, for instance. And then I look at the belief underneath that, which is, well, maybe I'm a victim of the world. This always happens to me. And so, I have this as a belief that somehow I'm victimized and I deserve to be victimized. And underneath that is the prayer, desire or prayer of the heart. Well, the ego's desire is to be separate. So underneath the belief in victimhood lies the desire to remain a separate identity. And then you just turn that around. You say, well, actually, I don't want to be a separate identity anymore. My true desire is to be one, to merge with everyone and everything. So now I change that at the fundamental level, then that ripples up into belief. So now I no longer believe that I'm a victim. I believe that I'm enough, just as I am. So that thought of feeling enough and feeling worthy then creates a different emotion. So I now feel quite peaceful and calm and centered, and my perception of any situation changes. Whereas previously I might have been very upset or angry, frustrated or fearful, whatever the emotion was. Now I find myself really not affected by the external, and there's a lot more peace in my mind. And so this is how the miracle really works. You go down into so that you get to the core level, which is what you want, what you desire, and then you change it there, and then that cascades all the way up through belief, thought, emotion into perception. And that whole process of doing this, changing your mind from an incorrect perception, emotion, thought, and belief, and underlying that desire, changing your mind so that you actually only want oneness, choose oneness, and then belief, thought, emotion, perception change as a result of that. That process we call a miracle. It's quite a good diagram, and this is actually a really a useful exercise. So if ever you're working through something, you can just type in on these levels. Okay, so what's my perception of when I think about whatever? So this is perception. What am I thinking about? I feel, that's emotion, whatever the emotion is, because I think that someone or something is to blame, and or because I'm afraid that something or something else will occur. So that's your thought. And these thoughts and feelings prove that I'm right, that I'm a victim, for instance. And what I want and expect for the ego is that I'm a separate self. But my victim creates a separate self, and that's what I am. I'm expecting outcomes based on that identity. And so when you do this, and you work through this, it helps you just to do this process. Go all the way to the bottom, look at the desire or prayer, change it, and then when you change it, everything else changes with it. Belief, thought, emotion, perception ripple up in a cascade, and then your perception changes. But in order to really change your perception at a deep level, you have to do this process. You have to go through the steps, go through the layers, and change it at the very core level of desire, which is what the diagram is illustrating quite nicely. Okay, so any questions on that?
No, good, Jono. Yeah, I mean, we went through this one of the sessions.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of months ago.
Yeah, it's all good. So
good, thank you.
You want to
thanks for the reminder about that with the miracle.
Yeah, because that's really what the miracle is about. So you want to have a little read of changing one's perception. So just from there to say that, just a few paragraphs. Have a little read of that because it's a little summary on miracles, and then we'll go into the lesson.
Okay. Changing one's perception so you see only love in a world where there seems to be so much fear, hatred, and suffering is the real miracle. Therefore, a miracle is just a choice to change one's perception from fear to love that may or may not inspire action and have any apparent consequence on the level of form. However, as Yeshua says in yesterday's reading from text, no thought of God's Son can be separate or isolated in its effects. Every decision is made for a whole sonship, directed in and out, and influencing a constellation larger than anything you have ever dreamed of.
Okay, so just pause it there. Any thoughts on the first couple of paragraphs?
I'm just looking at the first sentence. Changing one perception so you see only love in a world which seems to be so much fear, hatred, and suffering is the real miracle. I guess just come back to the instrument diagram.
Look at the diagram.
It's belief.
Yeah. So to change your belief, because the belief is what's caused all of the seeming consequences. The consequences of the ego is very evident in this world, but they are based on fundamental desire or prayer of the heart, which is to be separate, and then the belief that I am a separate person with my own identity, and this is the cause of all of the dysfunction in the world. The miracle just corrects it by saying, well, actually, none of this is true. You actually are still perfect, you're whole, you're complete, you're one, and none of these perceptions, emotions, thoughts, beliefs are real, and so none of them truly exist. And then there's the correction. So changing one's perception from fear to love, and you may or may not take action. So sometimes it's just an internal shift. You do this, you change your mind, you change your perception, you're feeling happy and more peaceful, but nothing changes in the level of form. It's not exactly the same. Sometimes then miracles do. Things happen on the level of form. You get inspired to do something, to act in some way, and then it has a ripple effect on the whole. So the whole here, and then he says, Yeshua says, so no thought. Maybe just read that again. No thought of God's Son. And then translate it. Yeah. Remember how to translate God's Son?
Well, I think God would be pure formless awareness.
Yeah, in this case, God's Son, we say love, perfect loves, and the Son is extension.
Oh, yes, extension.
No thought of perfect love's extension can be separate or isolated in its effects. Every decision is made for the whole sonship, directed in and out, and influencing constellation larger than anything you ever dreamed of. So this is how it works. Every thought affects the whole. This is the quantum field. You know, we're living in the soup of mind. Everything's mind, and every thought affects this mind that we're a part of. Directed inwards and outwards. This is how the world continue created and recreated by the ego, just from mind, from a belief in separation. Our thoughts influence a constellation larger than anything you ever dreamed of. Just telling us our thoughts have a huge effect on the whole mind. So we need to be vigilant. Okay, so happy with that, and let me just read that.
Yeah, it's quite amazing.
No. Yes, I think every thought you think goes into this quantum field, the morphic field. I think Rupert Sheldrake calls it. It's like, and it's having an effect just on the thought level. Just you thinking something, has an effect on the whole, which is not always perceptible. You can't see it, but every thought you have has an impact. So therefore, as I say in the next sentence, that's why you must be continuously aware of your thoughts and emotions, and very vigilant against the ego's attempts to hijack them. Every decision we make is made for everyone, creates either hell or heaven for everyone. So it's quite a useful way of really just helping yourself to be vigilant. Say, well, every thought matters. Every thought goes into the whole. Every thought affects everyone. So I need to watch my thoughts. I need to be much more vigilant on my thoughts. Okay. So next one, we are continuously influencing every mind. Do you want to read that?
Yeah, continuously influencing every mind and changing the world, thought by thought and feeling by feeling. So if you want a better world, start by choosing to think happy thoughts and feel inspiring emotions like love, peace, and joy right now.
Yeah.
So
instead of so many people are focused externally, saying it's about changing the world, but it's about changing your mind, changing your thoughts, changing your own beliefs, changing your emotions. That's the best way to create a better world. Be more loving, more peaceful, more happy, more joyful yourself.
Let's take that iPad and get it.
Oh, is that Lena? Hey, Lena.
Hi, John. Sorry.
No problem.
No. Okay,
So,
I need the iPad reset.
you're on your iPad?
No, I thought, did you hear Leland talking?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying it's disconnecting and reconnecting.
Okay.
And it's like, I wonder why. And then he said, I need that iPad reset. I'm on my laptop, but mine was streaming. Sometimes it's a bit, not always stable. Yeah, I thought it was just internet connection. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, John.
No problem. No problem at all. So, just some basic, you know this, but just reminders. These principles are fundamental to the course and to what a miracle is. It's a change of mind. Change your mind, and from the change of mind, a better world can follow, because the better world is simply a projection of the mind. So it's the only way you're really going to change anything. Change your thoughts, change your emotions. And that's what we're doing with these lessons. So it leads us into, this is a review lesson. So we can skip through this pretty quickly. We don't have to do massive discussion, but I think let's read it, and then it's nice preparation for the lesson itself. So just read it paragraph by paragraph, and if there's anything you're not sure about, we stop and discuss it.
Okay. Our next review begins today. We will review 2 recent lessons every day for 10 successive days of practicing. We will observe a special format for these practice periods that you are urged to follow just as closely as you can. I understand, of course, that it may be impossible for you to undertake what is suggested here as optimal each day and every hour of the day. Learning will not be hampered when you miss a practice period because it is impossible at the appointed time, nor is it necessary that you make excessive efforts to be sure that you catch up in terms of numbers, which are not our aim and would defeat our goal. But learning will be hampered when you skip a practice period because you are unwilling to devote your time to it that you are asked to give. Do not deceive yourself in this. Unwillingness can be most carefully concealed behind a cloak of situations you cannot control. Learn to distinguish situations that are poorly suited to your practicing from those that you establish to uphold the camouflage for your unwillingness.
Okay. Any thoughts on that idea?
No, I mean, today I think I just don't remember to do it. Or it's just, like meetings for back to back, or I don't think I'm deliberately not thinking about doing it because I did in the morning and also thought about it and shared it with someone else. But yeah, I mean, something to be aware of. Is you saying more that it's, I mean, it's more deliberate, like finding reasons not to do it rather than.
Yeah, he's saying, just be aware. Like, so what's genuine? Like, okay, this is not a good situation to practice this in because I'm in the middle of a business meeting, for instance, or something. Or even in a meeting, you can still think of the idea briefly. But the ego, will try and distract you. One of its favorite devices to say, well, no, I can't do that because of this. But he's saying, this is
I don't think it was consciously. I think I just forgot.
Yeah. Camouflage for your unwillingness. So he's asking us to be honest and say, am I avoiding this, or is it just a situation? I'm at work, I'm really busy, and it's poorly suited to my practice. And just be very honest about whether you are unwilling, because there's a lot of resistance to actually doing these kind of practices in the mind. So yeah, just check it. For the next few days, just check it and go, okay, so am I resisting this, or am I just, is my forgetting part of resistance? Is it just because I'm busy? Is this actually camouflage for my unwillingness to practice? And just ask yourself the question and be honest about the answer. That's what he's asking us to do. Okay, so move on to number 4 then. Do you want to read number 4? Okay, Kim, you still there? Kim?
Okay. Those practice periods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Those practice periods that you have lost because you do not want to do them for whatever reason should be done as soon as you have changed your mind about your goal. You are unwilling to cooperate in practicing salvation only if it interferes with goals you hold more dear. When you withdraw the value given to them, allow your practice periods to be replacements for your needs to them. They gave you nothing, but your practicing can offer everything to you. And so accept their offering and be at peace.
Okay. Any thoughts on that? It's talking about goals you hold more dear. So really anything in the world that you're going, oh, that's more important, that's more important. And you're saying, withdraw the value you've given them. So whatever the worldly goal is, it's not more important than salvation or awakening. Practicing can offer everything to you. So talking about escape from time and space, freedom from all misery, pain, suffering, sickness, and death, ultimate bliss for all eternity, and this is what your practicing offers you. So accept its offering and be at peace. Okay, so happy with that. Carry on with number 5.
Hi, Jonna.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Number 5.
Okay. For these reviews is this: devote 5 minutes a day or longer if you would prefer it to considering the thought for each day's exercise, and then begin to think relate to them.
Okay. Yeah, just breaking up a bit there, Kim. Yeah, she's back, Kim. So he's asking us to do 5 minutes twice a day, so that could be an evening, sort of a slightly longer practice period, and then shorter ones. So
yes, sorry.
Your needs, your seeming problems, and all your concerns. So it's about application to whatever's going on in your mind, in your life, and you bring the idea to that. And it does change your perception of it, doesn't it? If you do it, honestly, it does create a shift. That's what I find anyway.
Yeah, well, it does help at least to start thinking about it and what it means in the context of what's going on. Yeah.
Or it just starts to interrupt the default pattern. That's what he's trying to do with these lessons. It's just interrupt the ego's default thought system, interpretation, and beliefs, and get you to just think about it differently.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 6, place the ideas within your mind.
Place the ideas within your mind and let it use them as it chooses. Give it faith that it will use them wisely, being helped in its decisions by the one who gave the thoughts to you. What can you trust but what is in your mind? Have faith in these reviews. The means the Holy Spirit uses will not fail. The wisdom of your mind will come to your assistance. Give direction at the outset, then lean back in quiet faith and let the mind employ the thoughts you gave as they were given you for it to use.
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
It talks about giving it faith that it will use them wisely. Being helped in its decisions by the one who gave the thoughts to you.
Which is the Holy Spirit, or the remembrance. Holy Spirit's remembrance of oneness. So as you bring these ideas to mind, because they all remind you of oneness, and you're activating the Holy Spirit, which is the remembrance of oneness. And it won't fail. The wisdom of your mind will come to your assistance, and then lean back in quiet faith, let the mind employ the thoughts you gave as they were given you for it to use. So there's a kind of stepping back, say, yes, okay, I'm setting an intention, give direction at the outset. And so you think of the idea, and then you let your mind lean back in quiet faith. Let the mind employ the thoughts you gave as they were given you for its use. So if you think about it, and then you find it's kind of a contemplation, and your life and things, situations in your life might come to mind, and then you just have faith that your mind is going to start employing this idea to perceive the situation differently. In my experience, that happens quite amazingly well. If you simply dwell on something and a situation comes to mind and you've brought this idea to mind, it does seem to direct your thinking along a track that's much more helpful and more positive related to that situation. Okay? Happy with that paragraph? So number 7. You still there, Kim? No? Okay, I'll read it then. So I'm not hearing you. So you have been given them in perfect trust, in perfect confidence that you would use them well, perfect faith that you would see their messages and use them for yourself. Offer them to your mind in that same trust and confidence and faith. It will not fail. It is the Holy Spirit, so the remembrance of oneness's chosen means for your salvation or awakening. Since it has its trust, is what its means must surely merit yours as well. So he's saying just apply the ideas and trust that this Holy Spirit, remembrance of oneness, is going to employ the ideas in a way that's very helpful to help you to reinterpret whatever situations are going on in your life at the time. All right.
Different connection. This will work better.
So number 8, you want to read number 8?
The first time reviews the last way it's trying so you understand others.
Okay, so he's asking, at the very least, if you can't do it in the day, just do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, which isn't that much. If you can't take 10 minutes in the day for your work day and after your work day, I mean, everyone can. So no one's that you can't take 5 minutes. And the in between times you do as much as you can, but at least do the longer practices. So in the mornings, I send you those meditations, and, breath breaks. So try and then just take if you can only do 5 minutes, then do 5 minutes. If you can do longer, then listen to the longer meditation. So at least you practice it to start the day and then to end the day. It's a good way to start the day, a good way to end the day. Oh. And in between, well, if you can, he's asking for every half an hour, which is a lot. But even if you don't remember that, if you can do it a few times and just remember, then you're doing pretty well. Okay, so number 9.
The exercises to be done throughout the day are equally important, perhaps of even greater value. You have been inclined to practice only at appointed times and then go on your way to other things without applying what you learned to them. As a result, you have gained little reinforcement and have not given your learning a fair chance to prove how great are its potential gifts to you. There is another chance to use it well.
Yeah. So he's saying, try and remember. Try and remember in the day. So what you're doing really is interrupting the ego's pattern frequently. The more you can remember, and just even if it's just for a few seconds, you just bring the idea to mind, contemplate it, particularly if you're feeling stressed or anything. It's very useful there. But even if it's just miracles, for instance, today's miracles are seen in light, corrections are seen in true awareness, and you just contemplate that for a few seconds, it's interrupting the pattern, your normal way of thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the ego, and something else is coming in. There's an awareness for those few seconds, moments of, okay, so I'm reminding myself about the truth here. And if I do that every half an hour, the idea is that you're already training your mind into a different way of thinking, quite systematically and progressively. But it is going to take time. That's why he's asking us to do this practice. So he knows that it's not just going to happen because you understand the theory. It's the practice of it. Hence, he's got the workbook.
Yeah.
Okay. So happy with that. Number 9 and 10.
In these reviews, we stress the need to let your learning not lie idly between your longer practice periods. Attempt to give your daily 2 ideas a brief but serious review each hour. Use one on the hour and the other one half an hour later. You need not give more than just a moment to each one. Repeat it and allow your mind to rest a little time in silence and in peace. Then turn to other things, but try to keep the thought with you and let it serve to help you keep your peace throughout the day as well.
Yeah. So what he's asking us there is it's quite practical. Just a moment. Okay. So all you got to do is think of the idea, bring it to mind. You can do it in a few seconds. Just hold it in mind for a bit, and there's something that happens when you do that. By holding the idea in mind, there's a quietening of the mind. There's a settling into an awareness that's a bit deeper. And then he's asking you to just bear the idea in mind through the day. Just keep some awareness on it, so that deeper awareness, that peace of mind that the idea evokes, goes with you. So you reset frequently, and what he's trying to do is get us to reset into another state of mind and stay there as much as possible using these mind training ideas. So ultimately, you don't need the ideas anymore. You're so used to just remaining in this really peaceful state that the ego's got no space to come in. And this regular practice is important. If it was just say 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, then you've got a whole day in between where the ego can come in. So that's why he's got the daily practice. So just keep reminding yourself, keep interrupting the pattern of the ego, and you're going to progress, fast spiritually like that. So if you actually practice these lessons as he suggests, your spiritual progress is going to be enormous. And it's tough if you're working. It's easy to forget, but try and remember as many times as you can, even if it's just for a few seconds. I mean, honestly, you can, whatever you're doing, if you just remember for a few seconds, okay, let me take a deep breath, remind myself of the idea. That might only be 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Just connect with it, hold it. The miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. You breathe in on that. You just hold the breath briefly. You connect with, it's kind of an energy, quality of energy that goes with the thoughts. And then you just carry on in that reset state. So it's a very it's a well-designed course. He's thought about it, and he's gone, well, this is actually what's going to work most effectively to undo the ego. It's going to be regular longer practices, so once or twice a day, and then frequent shorter ones. And both are, as he says, this is equally important, or perhaps even more important. Equally important, he says. Perhaps even of greater value. Okay, where are we? Number 11. If you're shaken, think of it again.
If you are shaken, think of it again. these practice periods are planned to help you form a habit or the habit of applying what you learn each day to everything you do. Do not repeat their thoughts and lay it down. Its usefulness is limitless to you, and it is meant to serve you in all ways, all times and places. And whenever you need help of any kind, try then to take it with you in the business of the day and make it holy, worthy of God's Son, acceptable to God and to yourself. So I think it sums up what you've been saying, Jono. Make it a habit, and the usefulness is limitless to you.
Because in any situation, if you think of the idea, it changes your state.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. It's about moment by moment state management, managing your mental and emotional state using a simple mind training idea. If you use the breathing as well, you do the breath breaks, that I think enhances it. So it's in a minute or two, if you can change your state and find a more peaceful state, you're saying, well, this is really hugely valuable to you. Because instead of being upset and carrying that upset state with you for hours, maybe days, you can just shift it. You let it go, you shift it, and you restore your mind to a state of peace. If you're shaken, think of it again. Okay, well, so I'm feeling a little bit inturbulated, I'm feeling upset, fearful, angry, whatever it is. Let me think of it again and just try and restore myself into that really, nice, open, spacious awareness, a stable state. And that's hugely valuable. If you can do that, and just shift your mind into a different state, you don't get stuck in these really, unproductive states. You shift out of them quickly, and this is the tool to do it. Giving you the breath break, the daily lessons, and then I've just enhanced it with the breath break. So 1, 2, 3 minutes. You can listen to them. In fact, I can't think of anything better to do if you're feeling mentally shaken and upset than to take a few minutes and just restore your peace of mind. So that's the best thing you can do. The danger is people go, I don't have time. It's a crisis. It's like, I don't have time to breathe. I don't have time, No, you really do. In fact, in that panicked state, you can't really achieve anything.
Yeah.
Likely to do is going to mess it up even more, get yourself into even more of a knot. So the best thing you can do then is take some time out and just reset and change your state. And then change your state, you change your perception of it, and often then some kind of other idea comes in. You go, okay, well, I could do this, or I could just leave it. I don't have to do anything about it right now. Sometimes the best thing to do is do nothing for a bit. You don't have to respond to that email straight away. You can just drop it and go, okay, well, leave it till tomorrow. Let me just simmer down. Let's get myself in my right mind. And you change your state, and then you come back to it in a few hours or a day. It looks different, doesn't it? Okay, maybe I shouldn't send that email. So if I send an email, I often put it in draft and I just leave it. And then sometimes you go, no, I'm not going to send it next. Just leave it. So creates a gap. What you're trying to do here is create a gap between stimulus and response. So instead of just stimulus, react, you have stimulus, okay, pause. You have a mind training lesson to give you a pause to reset your state. And then you might act. Okay, so what do I think? And then you get some guidance, and maybe something appropriate comes. And sometimes you're not sure still. So you just, okay, I will leave it. I don't have to act on this. I don't have to do anything. The ego always works with time. It's like time shortage and pressure and all of this. And this is the opposite of it. It's like, okay, just relax. be peaceful, create some space, some awareness. You don't necessarily have to act and do anything. Just change your state first. So yeah, hugely valuable. And really, if you're going to change the mind, this is actually a very practical course, because he's giving you both the longer practices, which become meditations, and the shorter ones, which are just little pattern interrupts. Many, I call them breath practice, and many meditation, just for a minute or two, just to check in again, go back into that state that maybe you established in the meditation, and just keep referencing, keep going back to the state. Okay. Can you read number 12?
That's good. Each day's review assignment will conclude with a restatement of the thought to use each hour, and the one to be applied on each half hour as well. Forget them not. Sounds like those flowers. Forget me not. The second chance with each of these ideas will bring such large advances that we come from these reviews with learning gains so great, we will continue on more solid ground with firmer footsteps and with stronger faith.
So he's asking us just to want to be applied on each. So in the lesson, he's restating it for us. At the end, he's just saying, miracles are seen in light. On the half hour, miracles are seen in light and strength. One to help you remember. What ideas and if you remember nothing else, just take a breath, and on a breath, just bring the idea into mind. Just hold it there for 10 seconds, 20 seconds while you hold your breath. That's just, can you remember to do it? That's the question. Getting into the habit of doing it.
Yeah, well, today I was pretty much doing the idea lesson 92.
Part of this is okay. Sorry, Kim, I'm back.
Okay, no worries.
Why that dropped out. Anyway, sharing screen. Last paragraph, and we'll go into the Okay, not sure what keeps dropping out.
We need a miracle.
Yeah, well, let's see. So just do not forget how little you've learned. Do not forget how much you can learn now. You want to read that, and then we'll go into the lesson.
Do not forget how little you have learned. Do not forget how much you can learn now. Do not forget your Father's need of you as you review these thoughts he gave to you. So it's just reaffirming we have much to learn and much practicing to do. And the why it's needed, the Father's need of you is as though it's God or pure formless awareness and being connected with one and the sonship. So I think they're just re-emphasizing the importance. And the why.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Pretty short. Okay. Let me just try this from that. Maybe we'll have a better equation if I do that. Okay, I'm on an Ethernet cable, so I don't know why it's doing this, but anyway. Translated. I think you need to unmute. Don't know why it keeps dropping out. Internet.
Fun and games
And then
tonight for
read the
us, hey?
translation.
Probably load training.
And, yeah. It's me. I think I'm dropping out. Okay, I don't know. It's not stable. Okay, let's see if we can do it quickly. Do you wanna read miracles are seen in light?
Miracles are seen in light. I cannot see in darkness. Let the light of holiness and truth light up my mind, and let me see the innocence within.
Okay. And then translation below that, alternatively.
Corrections are perceived in true awareness. I cannot perceive truly in limited awareness. Let the true awareness of perfect wholeness and truth awaken my mind, and let me perceive the innocence within.
So any thoughts on that? Compare that to the original, and just see if it brings any other insights for you. Any thoughts on that?
I guess that when you say I can't perceive truly in limited awareness, maybe the limited awareness is, well, it's translated from darkness, but maybe it's just from the separation of ego, and then the true awareness is the holiness or with spirit. Truly awaken my mind and let me perceive the innocence within.
Yeah. So limited awareness is when we're believing in separation. We have a belief in that. We have emotions. We have beliefs, thoughts, emotions that are very limited and limiting. That's limited awareness. And light is really just true awareness, saying, "Oh, actually, none of this is really true. I don't have to really believe this. Just that thought. I don't have to believe this. Whatever's being shown to me in the illusion, it's my choice whether I believe it or not." And that's true awareness. The true awareness of perfect wholeness. So you're in a situation, ego is showing you separation. Now, limited awareness believes that. True awareness says, no, this isn't true. This is just false, and reminds you that actually your mind is still one. Perfect wholeness is the truth, and that awakens your mind back into this state of pure formless awareness. Connects you with it. And then you perceive the innocence within. So that's the correction. Corrections are perceived in true awareness. Miracles are seen in light. It changes it quite a lot, doesn't it? If you look at those two sentences, miracles are seen in light, can be so easily misinterpreted. Well, what does that actually mean? Miracles seen in light. Okay. For me, that's kind of it's very poetic. It sounds nice, but what does that actually mean? You say miracles are seen in light. What does it actually mean? How is that applicable to my life? And too often, I think this is the case with course students. They've been doing this for years and years, and they go, miracles are seen in light. Oh, it sounds very good. It makes me feel quite, yeah, nice. But I don't really understand what it means. And so I kind of do these lessons on a fairly superficial level. without really understanding what he's saying. And the idea of the translations is it just takes you a bit deeper. It's okay, well, what is a miracle? A miracle is a correction. So corrections in my mind are perceived in true awareness. Okay, well, what's true awareness? What's darkness? Well, darkness is limited awareness. So if I'm believing in ideas of me being separate and a victim and emotions that go along with that, that's limited awareness. True awareness says, no, none of this is true. Actually, I remember the spacious awareness in my mind, and that's what the truth is. Now I've corrected my mind, so I'm out of limited awareness. I'm back in spacious awareness or true awareness, and in that state, I've corrected my mind. So corrections are perceived in true awareness. Oh, you're having sound issues. Okay. We are having some tech issues today, aren't we? So, can you hear me though, Kim? I'll read the second one. So miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. I see through strength the gift of God to me. My weakness is the dark his gift dispels, by giving me his strength to take its place. And alternatively, corrections are perceived in true awareness, and true awareness and strength are one. I perceive through strength the gift of love to me. My weakness is the limited awareness its gift dispels by giving me its strength to take weakness's place. Okay, let's just close that. So any thoughts on that, Kim? Can you hear me? So corrections are perceived in true awareness. No, I can't hear you.
No? Is that
Yeah.
better? Okay.
Yeah,
Something went off with the settings. Okay.
Yeah. So any thoughts on that second idea? Miracles are seen in light, light and strength are one. And then the translation, corrections are perceived in true awareness, and true awareness and strength are one.
Well, yeah. The strength and awareness are one, and love. This is something that came up for me as well. The saying is light and strength and love are one.
Yeah, so your strength comes from this true awareness in your mind. That's all the light is. It's not any physical light. It's just an awareness that is true. And in that awareness, you feel strong, you feel connected. So we're just talking about an awareness, which becomes very practical. The reason we do the translations is like, well, it's just an awareness. And in that awareness, you can perceive corrections. Right? So the corrections bring about that awareness. But you need some awareness in order to correct your mind. So it starts with awareness, starts with a willingness really to say, okay, I want to see this differently. I can feel like I'm out of alignment with truth, that I'm out of sorts, but I want to change this. And so that's the start. That willingness comes from your true awareness. Then you practice a letting go technique, and that awareness gets cultivated and strengthened. And that awareness is your strength. If you stay rooted in this true awareness, pure formless awareness is the source of all your strength, because it is invulnerable. There's nothing that can harm it, can affect it. touch it in any way. So it's a source of true strength. And I perceive through strength the gift of love to me. My weakness is the limited awareness its gift dispels, giving me its strength to take weakness's place. So limited awareness, anything that's not love, it's not spacious, open, formless awareness, is limited awareness. And love, which is pure form, perfect love, the gift of perfect love to me, just dispels it. Love is open, it's empty, it's spacious, and it's invulnerable. Nothing can really affect it or touch it in any way. Therefore, it's the source of all strength. There's a limited awareness of the ego is very fearful. It feels very fearful, very threatened. It's not true. It's not real. Okay, so any thoughts on that, or comments or questions?
Yeah, it's like, say you've got to have that willingness to perceive, and it start with some true awareness to perceive things differently, which is a correction.
Yeah, so it starts with a willingness. So if you feel a bit out of sorts, and there's a part of your mind that knows that, okay, this isn't all right. I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling uptight, and I know that that's not the correct state of mind. I know there's another state. That's the true awareness starting, isn't it? So, okay, there's an awareness that this isn't correct, that there's a problem. Yeah. Okay, so now from that awareness, you start. You say, okay, well, I need to do some more corrections. I need to let this go. And then that awareness would stimulate you to do a practice, a process. You might do a lesson. You might do the 10-step letting go process, or you might work through the instrument for peace. You do something to facilitate the arising of that awareness. But it starts with an awareness, okay, all is not well. Like there's something out of accord here. And a part of my mind knows that, and there's an awareness, all is not well. So this is why it starts, all miracles start with an awareness, okay, something's not right. I've got a perceptual problem here. So I need to correct it. And then I can move forward from there. If there's no awareness, like, okay, something's not right, and you just accept that, whatever the ego is giving you is okay, even if it feels unhappy, and you just accept that as your default state, then you can't change it, because you just, there's no willingness to change the state. So it starts with some kind of awareness. As you do this practice, you start cultivating more of that awareness. So as you access more of these higher states in your mind, there's a part of your mind that's like, well, I know what feels good now, because I've experienced what feels good and peaceful and happy, because I've done some meditation, I've done some of this work. So I know what it feels like to actually be peaceful. And now from that as the reference point, you have a contrast. Oh, okay, I'm actually feeling really not peaceful. I'm feeling very upset, very uptight, and it really doesn't feel good compared with the peace that I know I can experience. So now I have an awareness. Okay, I'm in a state that's not nice, it's not optimal, but I know that there's a better state I can be in, and that's the start. The desire to move from a state of being limited, in a state of limited awareness or darkness, to like, no, I actually want more peace, more true awareness, more light to come in, because I'm aware that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And then I have a willingness, then I have a desire, willingness to shift. So I actually want more of that empty, open, spacious awareness that brings me peace. And then if I've done some of these kinds of spiritual practices, I know what's going to get me there. Okay, well, if I practice a lesson, if I do a meditation, if I use a letting go process, then that's what's going to allow this true awareness to arise more and bring me peace. So it starts with the just an awareness that I'm out of accord here. I'm feeling out of sorts, and I want to correct it.
Yes.
And the more you do this, the more you practice. It's like anything, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more you go, okay, I know when I'm out of alignment because I've practiced being in alignment and I know what it feels like to feel pretty happy, pretty peaceful. And now something comes along and it disturbs my peace, and you start to become more sensitive to it. It's like, oh, okay, I'm really noticing when I go out of alignment. And that immediately when I notice, that brings about a desire to correct it and to bring myself back into alignment. So the more you practice, the more awareness you have of when you're out of alignment, which then is the catalyst for moving back into alignment. So that's kind of
that's true, Jono. It does help when you kind of know what that feels like. Yes.
So often you get more sensitive, and then you go, oh, well, I'm actually kind of more upset than I used to be, but actually you're just noticing it more. That's what's happening. You become more sensitive. Okay, well, previously, you didn't really clock it. You weren't really aware enough to go, yeah, I'm actually upset now, and I'm really not peaceful. Now you have enough awareness to clock it and go, okay, actually, I'm aware that I'm not peaceful, and so that feels kind of disturbing. Okay, I know I'm out of alignment here. Okay, but that awareness then is what's going to bring you back into alignment, because then you have the desire to change your state. So then you go, no, actually, I want peace. I choose peace in the situation. I want peace. So what do I have to do it? Okay, well, I have to let go of my perception of it, the emotion, the thought, the belief, and I might use a process like this one, the Instrument for Peace diagram, or there's a number I've given you. This 10-step process. If it's really difficult, I might spend some time doing the written worksheet on that. I might do a meditation on it. Maybe I've only got time for a 5-minute breath break, but I want to do something to shift it because I have a desire for peace rather than to continue in this state of upset and non-peace. So that's how it works. Just we realize we're out of alignment and we say, oh, I have a desire to come back into alignment. We do a process to let go of whatever the false perceptions, emotions, thoughts, and beliefs are, and then we restore our perception. And the more you do that, it's like anything, you're practicing a skill. The more you do that, the better you get at it. It becomes easier to do it, and you can do it more quickly. And in the end, mastery is like, okay, well, something comes in, it's a temporary arising, and I let it go, and maybe I can do that in a few seconds. And I just drop it, and I restore my mind into a peaceful state. But in the beginning, it can take some time. So the ego's got a grip on our minds, and it might take minutes, hours, sometimes even days to shift out of an egoic state. But the more we practice with these lessons, the more easily we do that. Okay, so any comments, questions on this review lesson?
I'm good, thank you, Jono.
Okay, do you want to do a meditation on it?
Yeah.
For 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So making yourself comfortable. Just sitting with your feet shoulder width apart, back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. And you clench the sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. Feel like you're drawing the energy up the spine with the breath, breathing in. Draw it up into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart. Connect with your heart space. And draw it up into the upper chest. Up into the head. Just connect in with your mind. Scan your mind. Notice any thoughts, any emotions, any related sensations in the body. If there's anything that feels unpeaceful, anything stressful, minor irritation, a little grievance, a bit of fear, upset in any shape or form. Just breathe into it. Imagine if it helps you that you're breathing light into every pore of your body, every cell, every muscle, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in the light. And then say to yourself that miracles are seen in light, or if you prefer the translation, corrections are perceived in true awareness. So I can correct my mind. I don't have to maintain this negative state, this limited state. I can choose to change it. So remind yourself that I cannot perceive truly. I cannot see in darkness. I cannot perceive truly unlimited awareness. So let the light of holiness, of the true awareness of perfect wholeness and truth awaken my mind and let me perceive the innocence within. So that's an invitation to the Holy Spirit, the remembrance of oneness. Come into your mind, so exhale on the truth of that. Have a sense as you exhale, just releasing any dark thoughts, any emotions that are not wholesome, that are not whole. Release them into the nothingness they really are. They don't really exist. Blow them away with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness they really are. Just rest here for a few moments in stillness and peace. And the stillness in the gap between breaths, there's a gap in mind, a little opening into this eternal state of mind. Leads you back to pure formless awareness. So experience that, enjoy it. And breathe in again through the nose. Notice how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Imagine you breathing golden white light into the stomach, to the chest. Clench the sphincter muscle. That's the muscle you use to contract the flow of urine or squeeze the last drops out. Just lock the energy in. And you draw the energy up the spine into your heart center. One hand on your heart. Connecting with your heart space. One hand on your heart. Draw the energy up. Spine into the crown of your head. Pausing at the top of the inhale. It's a maximal inhale breath. Remind yourself again that miracles are seen in light. And that light and strength are one. If you prefer the translated version, corrections are perceived in true awareness. And true awareness and strength are one. So my strength comes from my true awareness, which is the awareness of pure formless awareness. Empty, spacious, whole. And so right now you can breathe that awareness in, just feel it coming into your mind, into your heart. Feel it in your body. So this awareness coming into your awareness will heal your body of any sick conditions, any negative, limited conditions. You just bring in this awareness, breathe it in, absorb it into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body. It helps you imagine a golden or white light flowing into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in the light. say I see through strength the gift of God to me. I perceive through strength the gift of perfect love to me. My weakness is the limited awareness its gift dispels by giving me its strength to take weakness's place. So my weakness, my limited thoughts and beliefs, my beliefs in separation or weakness, and my true awareness, empty, open, spacious, formless awareness is strength. So exhale, just have a sense of blowing away any limited thoughts, any darkness you can imagine. If it helps you, that you breathing out dark clouds, dark smoke, to the nothing as they really are. Track the lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. And just rest in this awareness for a few moments. In the peace and the stillness. There's nothing else to go, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, be still, surrender into the stillness. Just deep awareness of the truth. Let the true awareness, the light arise in your mind, your heart. Just breathing in and out through your nose, observing the subtle flow of air into the nostrils. And then out of the nostrils. Just observe the breath. And just rest in this true awareness. There's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, and be still. Rest in this peaceful awareness. In the pure formless awareness of perfect love. In the light. Yes, of miracles are seen in light. Corrections are perceived in true awareness, and light or true awareness and strength are one. And have a sense of the strength arising in your mind. It comes from an unlimited spacious awareness that is always there, perfect, whole, sinless, complete, invulnerable, cannot be hurt, attacked in any way. It is true awareness, formless awareness of perfect love. So just give it its due, let it come into your mind, let it arise in your mind, envelop and encompass your mind, and just surrender to it. Give yourself over to the experience of it, fully, completely, wholly, for the next couple of minutes of deep silence. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Really relax and be still. Know that you are this light, you are this awareness. There is no separation between you and it. So just merge into that, let it pull you into this deeper awareness. Just rest in this light. Experience the peace and the strength of it. The next couple of minutes of deep silence. If any thoughts arise that seem to disturb your peace in any way, just let them go. Gently with the breath, releasing them into the nothingness they really are. Cloud patterns just drifting away cannot obscure the light of your source, of the pure formless awareness of your mind, which is the blue sky that's totally open to the source. And just let that stream into your awareness. It's the light of true awareness streaming through your mind. Empty, spacious, open, pure, formless awareness. Give your mind over to that experience fully and just rest in that state, completely and wholly for a couple of minutes of deep silence. And so just gently coming back in this very deep state of awareness, and bring some of that awareness into the body and the breath and the senses and the world. And then on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. And the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Notice that. Clenching the sphincter muscle as you breathe in, lock the energy in. Draw the energy up the spine to your heart center. One hand on your heart, connecting with your heart space. And draw it up into the crown of your head. Pausing at the top of the inhale, smile. And just scan your mind, notice any thoughts, any emotions, sensations. Maybe it's just really empty, open, spacious awareness, feeling very peaceful. If that's the case, just appreciate it. And if not, then apply today's second review idea, say, miracles are seen in light, corrections are perceived in true awareness. So there's true awareness, spacious, empty, open awareness. It's here, it's beyond all of these cloud patterns, because that's all they are, and obscure that awareness. So, and we let them go and remind myself that light and strength are one. My true awareness and my strength are one. My true strength lies in my true awareness. Exhale out on the count of 2. Notice stomach, chest sinking in, the air flowing out of your mouth. Just sinking in to a deep restful state. Notice how the energy that you raised up at the crown of your head subsides back down the front channel of your body, going to rest in your lower stomach and your groin. Feel the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling with your hands touching. And then there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. Notice what you're hearing, the surrounding environment. Just noticing all these things from this very still, calm and surrendered state. Without any judgment, without interpretation, this open, empty, spacious, pure, formless awareness. So your true awareness just underlies everything, permeates everything. So you don't really see the separation, you don't see the differences, you just are aware of this underlying sameness, the underlying true awareness, pure formless awareness. Underlies all form. And you rest in that. And you feel the strength of that. So say one more time. Miracles are seen in light, or corrections are perceived in true awareness. And light and strength are one. True awareness and strength are one. Breathe in that strength, and on the count of 3, just open your eyes. So take a moment, look around. Observe the room around you. Observing the various objects in the room, but if you're rooted in this deeper awareness, you don't really see separate objects. You just notice everything from a state of deeper awareness. So what's primary in your awareness is then this awareness, this pure formless awareness. It's very peaceful, it's very restful, everything just sits on the surface, but there's this deeper underlying awareness, like a deep ocean of great peace and tranquility that underlies all of the sense perceptions that happen on the surface. It's like the ocean can get choppy, and wind can blow, waves can be tossing and turning, but go a couple of meters below the surface, and all of that stops, and there's just a deep peace. So that's what I wish for you. A very, very peaceful evening and weekend ahead. And I hope to see you on Sunday. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and tonight's session. So thanks for joining, Kim, and I will see you on